welcome to my channel. This week I'm making the locator from the movie Aliens. This is the little device which Ripley uses to find Newt at the end of the movie. First things first, I've selected a piece of pipe around the right thickness and I just need to cut it. I'm using a little device called a pipe cutter. All I need to do is twist it around a few times and then we'll pop off. And there we have the basis of our locator. We just need to sand down all the rough edges. And now using a wax pencil, I'll mark out roughly where all the markings will go. I used a couple of different methods to draw around the tube. This one so far is the easiest. And I keep going until the basic design is on there. Now here I tried using the pipe cutter to cut the groove between each section, but it wasn't working, so I had to come up with a plan B. So I cut off another piece of pipe, this time slightly shorter than the original. Then I cut two vertical strips down the back with a Dremel cutting disc. And if I give it a squeeze, it'll hopefully fit inside the main tube. Which it does, and shortly you'll see why. And now to cut out all the separate sections. The cutting disc isn't the most accurate tool in the world, so you need to sand down and file down the edges to make them all even again. For the really bad pieces I just use the sanding bit on the Dremel. Now let's give it a test fit, see if it all goes together. It's starting to fill up the part now. It's time to stick them all down now with PVC cement. This process is a little bit tricky, but I'll get there in the end. And I keep going until all the sections are in place. I just need to make sure the gap between each section is just right, then I can leave it to set. And now to make the first end cap, I simply trace the diameter and cut it out. Then it's time to cut out the circle. As you can see, it's just a little bit too big, but at least you can trim it down. If you cut it too small, you've lost it. And then I simply trace around the top section for the bottom piece. After a final trim, the top piece fits in perfectly. And I get that glued into place. And now to cut out and repeat the same process for the bottom section. Unlike the top, this one sinks inside about 5mm deep. Now the top isn't quite flush, so I just need to trim it down a little bit. And then sand it smooth to finish it off. These gaps still aren't even, so I'm using a file to even them out. Then I sand down the whole thing, because when it comes to painting, the paint needs something to adhere to. I'm using the cutting disc to make the groove for the bottom section. And now need to make the screw for the side. Then I cut out a V shape in the middle of it. Before I glue it on, I need to round out the edges. And then I leave that to set. And now to spray on the primer. And then I give this a quick once over with a sanding sponge before spraying on the military green spray paint. and then with a fine brush I carefully add the black paint between the gaps. And the whole bottom section is also painted black. Using a silver sharpie, I add on some scratch marks along the edges. And then I seal it all in with matte varnish. After reviewing the sample image I've been working off, I realised that the screw head should have been in black. So I went back and corrected that. Thankfully a friend of mine was able to print me off this vinyl sticker, which saved me a lot of time trying to get this painted on. Although finding the edge can take just as long. Right, that's another scrapbook pop finished. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, if I can do it, so can you.